It's lively at the morgue tonight. Doc Robbins has the body of a homeless man, which unfortunately is a routine occurrence. But this Vic has some interesting anomalies. Brass can get you the address of where the body was found. But first start with our best evidence, the body itself.
Hey, I'm Warwick Brown. We can use another good CSI. Catherine says you don't miss much. How about this time you don't miss anything? So let's go see the doc and find out what put this homeless corpse on the coroner's radar.
Warwick and the newbie, welcome to the morgue. Very helpful destination, unless it's your last. And I hope you aren't squeamish, because the body of evidence on any murder case starts with the body as evidence. I'm Dr. Albert Robbins, but we're going to be friends, so Doc or Al is fine. I'm here to answer your questions, uncover little pieces of truth that will add up to a bigger truth. How our Vic died, what the murder weapon was, possibly the deceased's identity. I deal with the kind of trace evidence that doesn't make itself obvious at the crime scene.
So what's the story here, Doc? Grissom said you found something that didn't quite add up on a homeless guy.
First glance, we've got a male, mid-30s, apparent alcohol poisoning fatality. Of course, we have bleeding out of the mouth consistent with this kind of death, and the expected filthy, ragged, and ill-fitting clothing. Not exactly the top story in the 11 o'clock news, right? But consider the stomach contents, traces of white French truffles, which go around $150 an ounce. Plus, we have a blood alcohol reading of 0.50. High, you say? Too high. The hardest core drinker would typically pass out long before hitting that mark. Well, that's a start. I've prepped a DNA sample for the computer as a matter of procedure. Normally pretty straightforward, but not in this case. The entire body should be rigid from rigor mortis. That's muscle losing its adenosine triphosphate and hardening. But the stiffness was inconsistent, absent in several joints, indicating that the Vic was moved. And without knowing the environmental conditions at the real site of the death, determining time of death becomes quite difficult. Wakeman Vodka. Pretty high-class brand for a homeless guy, don't you think? Sure, but here's another surprise for you. I found indications our fragrant vagrant may have been dressed posthumously. You'll also note that we have an oddly well-groomed corpse beneath the rags. Well-groomed, but you've still got the malnutrition and poorly healed wounds, consistent with the life on the streets. Some post-mortem bruising on the face, too. He had a heart transplant, probably as an adolescent, so this is not a man who always lived his life on the streets. No evidence of any anti-rejection drugs in his system, though off his meds he may have been living on borrowed time anyway. No fatty deposits on the liver, smooth tissue, nutmeg color too. Street person or not, this was no heavy drinker. Bruises indicate he may have been forcefully held down, not a post-mortem injury. Impression and tan line on his finger suggests he'd worn a ring for some time, months at least. You got it. If you don't tell Grissom, I'll share a guess with you. The nose test says that's your standard issue garden variety vomit. Involuntary contractions cause the stomach to spew its contents up the esophagus. Lots of ways that reflex can be triggered, from a finger down the throat, to flu, to feelings of guilt.
What's up? Hey, you're gonna love this. How about a condemned building that was once an insane asylum near the edge of town? Real eyesore. Drives us crazy, all the disturbance reports we get, kids causing trouble out there. I'll secure it for you. Well, Vegas isn't short on gourmet dining, but still, those morsels are rare. I'll run a check on restaurants listing their specials online. Only one hit for the past few days. Le Figaro restaurant, right downtown.
This pad's perfect for nightmares. Musty and damp. Vic's blood. This is where the EMTs picked up the body. It's pretty common to have bleeding from the mouth in an alcohol poisoning. No need to sample it. Yeah, in this town, it's better to be lucky than smart, and we just got lucky. A fly must have dropped her eggs on the Vic's blood. We're getting closer to the time of death. You catch that pungent smell? Alcohol, maybe? Looks like fresh paint over here. Hey, we got some muddy footprints here. Ward Brown's first rule, it all comes down to shoe prints. Disruption and the dust could be important. This is kind of out of place, you think? Not as dusty as everything else. The blood, the wheelchair. Our Vic was wheeled over here and dumped. Damn, that's cold. Seatback looks really weathered. Well, this little number rolled a long way. Can't make out this number, but it's etched in the metal. Pretty superficial. Sometimes acid brings out more of the detail, but it might destroy the image altogether. Any ideas? Great idea. Microcell makes a good negative mold. We're with the crime lab and we need to speak with the manager.
I'm the manager and owner, Marcus Vanderhelen. Is there a problem?
There's no problem. We just have some questions. Background on an investigation.
Always a pleasure to be of service to law enforcement. Oh my, numerous people. It's a house specialty. Not always on the menu, you understand. But patrons flock here for it, when it's available. You'll have to be much more specific. Would you mind keeping your voice down, officer? It's a terrible problem that I frankly can't seem to do anything about. I've called you people dozens of times, and while I know you can't be everywhere at once, these tramps, bums, this human refuse, they frequent my alley and the dumpsters like a buffet line. This kind of thing, you understand, makes my patrons most uncomfortable. I'd rid the world of that filthy rabble if I could, much less my alley. These lowlifes are always lurking about back there, and as you might imagine, my relationship with any one of them is limited to chasing them the hell away. I wouldn't know one from the other. Interchangeable riffraff. We have an exclusive clientele, and as much as I would like to be of help, I must protect their privacy. No, I cannot do that.
That's all we need right now. Well, it may be a fine restaurant, but this is one rank alley. It's got to be a better place for a guy down on his luck to find a meal. Truffle special and an asparagus omelet. Truffle special, grilled eggplant pasta. Truffle special with a baked Alaska dessert. Leftovers. Someone hungry enough might find this worth eating. Torn cloth. Someone must have got snagged hopping the fence.